Hello everyone. This is a recording for instructions on assignment 3. I am going to discuss section 1, which is like primarily Excel, and section 2 has more rapid minor, and if you're following the textbook, it has detailed instructions on how what you have to do. But I will tell you about more about section 1, where you will be working with date functions. So if you do not have a date column, this is what I meant by you're allowed to create one and describe it in your report. I will demo from one of the data sets how you can create a date column in the absence of one, and then you can either just mention that you created it, or if you already have a date column, you can try calculating something with it. Like I've given these examples, and your textbook has some more. So for the demo, I am using this data set called Ramen Ratings, and then I have sorted the review column in ascending order so that I can have the review one in the beginning, and then I have added in the column H just a date, and then I'm going to give try to create a date for it. So I've sorted this just to make sure that if I start a date in maybe um, 2 years ago, or maybe like in the beginning of this year, 2019, then I can go increasingly down, or just like click. You know this functionality by now. If you click on this, it will drop to the last cell at the end of the sheet. So you can try different ways to create a date column, but I will just demo one simple way that I've tried doing it. So I will try to begin this in the uh let's see. I want to I'm thinking about January. Maybe I want to create um January 1st, 2019. So there's several ways to represent your date column, where you have uh the full date, or just the hyphenated date, or the day, month, 3-letter month, and then in year. So whichever works for you, you're comfortable with, you can play around. And the formula I was looking for is, I think, date, and I'm going to create a year, and then a month, and a day. Okay, for now I've not given any values, so it's not gonna give me any date, but for convenience, I'm just going to type it here, month and day. So my year is 2019, and the month is January, and the date is 02. So then there you go. And then you can format it later. So since I'm trying to stay in 2019, and my 2500 reviews will stay in 2019, I'm just going to do that and drop this formula as well down. And month is what you can play around with. If you want, you can just copy that for a couple of cells and say, okay, this is what January looks like, and on January 2nd, or you can still replicate the same date several times and play around for the rest of the oh dear. Okay. For the rest of the data, that's what I meant. But don't try to like give everything in the same date, because when you create charts, you need to have certain, which is the next task, you should have certain variability that you have to show. Um, but if not, whoops, it's stuck. Okay. But if not, if I try to go sequentially, yeah, and select these two and drop down, It doesn't exactly give me the date. So what am I missing? Oh, so I mixed up formula and the cell value. So I'm going to undo this and make sure this is not, I'll just do another one. So that both the cells don't have a formula, and then I can just get a sequential value. Let's see, it did add, so the part I made a mistake is because I just dropped it down for 2500 records. It's giving me data up to like 2022 or more than that, I believe. Let's just go scroll down. 2026. How wonderful. So don't do this, but on a given day you can have several reviews. But this is just an example that I am showing you different ways to how to create a day column. One way is to just type in the day yourself, or that will take a long time if you have more than 1,000 records. If not, you can create a day formula by creating 3 other columns, where in one of the columns you mention the year and the month, and the next column you mention the day. And that will create it for you. And the third way I showed you is to create 2 dates and then drop it down so that incrementally it just creates the dates for you. But just be careful because they're like 365 days, so you only get like those unique values. But if you have more, like I have done, it shows me um, date up to 2026, which we don't want, because these are existing. This is an existing review data, so it means that we already have those reviews given by people. So that means it has to be in the current context. So maybe you can try it from 2015 or 2010, and then eventually it adds up to like, okay, coming up 6 years or 7 years. You can go backward as well. So let's go back to our assignment. So that's the creating the day column and then calculating, um, performing some calculations with those dates would be your task B. And then create a chart, appropriate charts. I think I'm expecting you to do 2 charts. I know that all of you are familiar with most of these charts. So try them. And the next one is adding a data analysis tool pack. This is a pretty simple process. Let me show you if I can do it right here, but I think I already have it. But you'll just have to go to home and options, and in the add-ins, click on go, and then you have the analysis tool pack with VBA. I have an additional solver because I do optimization with using Excel, so I have solver too. But for this assignment, all you have to do is just add these, and it's a different process for Mac. That's why I've provided a link. I'm using a Windows, so the support website has a process for Mac. I've noticed that the menu items are different in Mac version of Microsoft Excel 2016. So if you're using that, please follow these instructions and install it. And you can work with any of the columns that you have, possibly like stars is probably ratings. And then if I select this, and I think that's a blank value here. This is not a clean data. I just downloaded it from their Canvas. So let's see, data analysis, do me descriptive statistics and input range. Let me go back and select the whole column F. Let's see. Column F, and the labels in the first row group by columns, and yeah, just worksheet, new worksheet, and then summary statistics. That's all enough, I think, for now. And then non-numeric. I think that's the reason that I haven't cleaned the data, so it's giving me errors because I have an empty cell here, or maybe unrated. So let me just give it a 0 here, and then go back and check if everything is numerical. Format cells, say number. All right, that should do it. Now let me go back and try to do this again. All right. Columns, let's see if it works. Okay. So I got an error again. So it looks like there are some more characters. I'm using a filter to find out where the problem is. So I'm gonna try to select these and say there's 0 and 0. Hopefully this should solve the problem. And then I can perform some descriptive statistics on this. Okay, columns, input. Okay, yay. I got it now. So just make sure your data is clean before you try to do this. I'm sure all your data is clean. I'm just trying with the new sheet, so I'm ending up with problems. So you just gotta report this, what you're trying to get the stats for. In this case, this is the ramen ratings. So the mean rating is 3.6 of all the ramens. Just explain it in a couple of sentences in your report. Should do. Whoops, this is mine. Sorry. Okay, so that completes your section 1. I think create the table for descriptive statistics for one of your relevant columns in your data. And please make sure you follow the instructions for the reporting and mention what goes where because we're adding a new date column, so you'll have new goals, or you should technically have new goals. So, or if you've already mentioned them in your previous assignments, just add them here, and just you don't have to upload 2 documents. I've noticed some of you have did. Just when you finish writing your Excel part, you can just like start a new page and then add a title, RapidMiner, or just section 2, and say this is what I've done with RapidMiner, and then report your final process diagram and your experience working with it. And if you ended up any problems, because I've noticed some users have rapid graphics or RapidMiner. So if you encounter that, or your software crashed while you were processing the text file, so that should complete the instructions for assignment 3. If you still have questions or I missed something, please email me, and I will respond to you in time. And thank you very much. This is the end of the recording.